Hey guys, so today I'm going to speak to you about how to start a business that can replace your day job. This is quite a radical idea, but one that I know a lot of people are excited about and something many people wish they could achieve one day. Starting a business is one of the levers on the way towards financial independence. It's one of the things that can help to accelerate this journey for you really well if you focused on it as a possible outcome in your life. I know a lot about this because I've made the full transformation from this idea of starting a side hustle with zero income and zero potential and going all the way to something that has given me the ability to actually quit my job and pursue my own dreams. And when I think about it actually on a really personal level, when I think about my levels of happiness, I'd probably say it's ranked at a level of 9 out of 10. And when I think about my levels of freedom, that's definitely a 10 out of 10. So this idea of starting your own business is one that's absolutely credible. But I've got to be super honest with you, it does not happen very quickly. Okay, it will require a lot of commitment and a lot of determination to make it happen. So for me, for example, I started this journey at point zero in December 2017, and as at the middle of 2020, I was able to take that leap and essentially run a business that's making 5 figures a month or 6 figures per year. Okay, so you can see that took 2.5 years. So today, I want to break it down for you. I've got 5 specific tips. 2 of them are aimed at you personally, because this is actually a personal journey initially. And the 3 other points I've got are aimed at your future idea. Okay, my name is Ken of the Humble Penny and Financial Joy Academy. What we do on this channel is give you the tips, the insights, the practical hacks to help you work towards a dream life of financial independence and money joy. Right, let's dive in now and talk about this, because I know that this is possible. Okay, at one point, it took me a while to actually believe I might have the full transformation. But being here now in a place where this morning I woke up, I got my kids ready, took my kids to school, drove them, and we, listened to some music in the car. It was really, really lovely. After that, got home, did a bit of work for about 2 hours, went out for a walk with my wife. Then after that, had some lunch. Then we chilled out for a bit more, worked for a bit more, and then I'm off very shortly to go and pick my kids up from school. This is a lifestyle, a big part of what I refer to as a life design. Okay, so I hope that this video will start to sow a seed in your mind as to how you can create a business for yourself that will actually help you create this possibility, your own possibility of replacing your job potentially, or at least giving you the option to do that. Okay, so the first tip I've got is for you to visualize your lifestyle business. Okay, a great deal of us don't spend enough time actually visualizing what that actually looks like. Okay, so I want us to be really practical here. And if you can, grab yourself a sheet of paper. I tend to use an iPad and my pencil here, and answer these questions for yourself, because this will help you with the visualization, which helps with the critical ingredient for creating a business, which is this idea of self-belief. Okay, and here are the questions. I'm going to read them out here. Okay, these will help you, by the way, get closer to the reality of this idea of starting a business being real in your life. If you're one of those people who maybe has imposter syndrome about it possibly being a reality in your life, these will help you get closer. First question I've got for you is, how much money per month would you realistically like to be making from your business, your lifestyle business? How much money is that realistically? This is really important. It's going to be realistic. Secondly, how would running the business improve upon your current life right now? Would it make you more secure? Would it give you more freedom? Would it give you more happiness? What is it that business, starting that lifestyle business, would do for your personal life? Third question, what does it mean practically for you to run a business of your own? This is particularly important if you're somebody who has never actually run a business by themselves, okay? Number 4, who do I know who runs their own business successfully? And what exactly do they do to make that happen? So do you know anyone who's running a business successfully? What are they doing to have a successful business? And the fifth one is, what do I need to give up in order to be able to create my successful business? Is it giving up your time, your money, your talent, perhaps? Okay, so I'd love you to actually ponder upon those questions and write your answers down, because this is how you start to visualize what that might actually look like in your world. You're starting to now move beyond theory and you're starting to get practical. This is why I love writing things down. I'm always with my iPad, always writing stuff down, because you're starting to turn what might be dreams into the possibility of action. Because the minute you put it into ink, it starts to take a life of its own. Okay, so the second tip I've got is to simplify to multiply. Okay, let me explain what I mean here, right? So if you're somebody who is currently, say, let me say you're spending, say, £3,000 per month. That's your monthly kind of recurring expenses per month, okay? Would you agree with me that it will be a lot easier and a lot more feasible if your monthly expenses were maybe, say, £2,000 per month? I.e., it will be more likely that you might start something, a side business or a lifestyle business that might actually generate you £2,000 per month. It'd be a lot easier than trying to do something that might generate, say, £3,000 or more. Okay. The reason I mention this is that this worked for us on our journey. A big part of what we did was to start to simplify our lifestyles. Where could we cut stuff down? What was the almost bare bones version of our life? What would that bare bones version of our lives cost? Okay, so what that does is it creates a great deal of motivation, because you're able to say, wow, all I need to do is start to find something that might start to create me £2,000 per month. And if I'm able to actually make that happen, I've then essentially written myself an option and giving myself that possibility of taking that leap and finally doing that thing that I've always wanted to do. Okay, so that brings us to the first two ideas, which are focused on you specifically, working on your inner being and on your self-belief, okay? We're now gonna move on to the remaining three tips I've got, which are focused on the business idea that you are gonna create for the future. But before we do that, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsors of this video. And the sponsors today is actually our program known as Financial Joy Academy. I want to spend a moment just to talk to you about what we do at FJA. FJA is a platform that we've created to help professionals and families create a life of financial independence. We help them accelerate that journey by teaching them the various things that have helped us make that happen. One of which is to help them start their own businesses to accelerate this journey. We help them stay accountable. We provide an environment of like-minded individuals. We offer them group coaching. We create relationships. We network. We offer them content, premium content that will help them actually take action. Courses, masterclasses, essentially you have access to everything. Above all that, you get to work with us on a more personal basis, okay? So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, check out in the links below and above to our membership program at Financial Joy Academy. Okay, so number 3 is to explore and shortlist 3 business ideas. I love this stage because what you're doing here is exploration. You're out there seeking out what actually works. Okay, this is why I love this stage, because there are so many possibilities, which is what brings the beauty to business as a lever towards financial independence. There's something out there for absolutely everybody. We've created many videos on business ideas, which I'll put a link to below and above. 21 passive income ideas for a freedom lifestyle. We've also created videos on high-paying side hustle ideas for this year in particular, which again, I'll put in the links below for you to check out. So there are a ton of ideas, but what I'd love you to do is to engage this idea of exploration, figuring out what works for you. And more specifically, I want you to think about it from these specific verticals, okay? I'll explain what I mean here, okay? The first one is passion, okay? What I mean here is I want you to ask yourself these questions as you try to shortlist your 3 ideas. Will this business idea give me fulfillment if I went ahead with this particular idea? So what we're talking about here is passion. the heart? Will it give me fulfillment if I pursue this idea? Secondly, talent. Do I have the skills necessary for me to make this business idea a success? Or can I learn the skills necessary to make this idea a success? The third is time. Do I have enough time to commit towards making this idea a success? Or can I outsource some of my tasks in order to expand my time for this idea to become real? Okay. Number 4 is money. Will this idea have the potential to generate the sort of income that I'm looking for in my life? And the final one is scale. Does this idea, the 3 ideas you're shortlisting, do each one of them have the possibility of growing and without an income cap? Okay, typically you find that with online businesses, although there are offline businesses, lots of them that also offer you that possibility of no cap on your income. So you want to assess across those 5 verticals and use that as the key checks in order for you to shortlist your top 3 ideas to explore. And what you want to make sure is that you tick off at least 3 out of those 5 things on that checklist I've just asked you, because if you're able to do that, then you've without a doubt got yourself possible winning ideas to explore for the future. Okay, so tip number 4 is to choose one business idea. This is the hardest of the stages because you're essentially now funneling further and moving from 3 ideas down to just 1. And what I'd love you to do here is to focus specifically on strengths and opportunities, okay? By strengths, I mean, ask yourself this question: why must I do this idea? What are the strengths of each one of those 3 ideas that mean that you must do that particular idea, okay? And by opportunities, I mean, what is the best case scenario for each one of those ideas? In your wildest dreams, where could these ideas possibly go from a business perspective? What could the possibilities of each one of those 3 ideas potentially be over a set period of time, say over the next 2 years or 3 years perhaps? Because what that then does is it gives you a much richer data set, because you're able to then say, I'm not going to focus on this idea because of X, Y, and Z, or I am going to focus on this specific idea because of A, B, and C. Okay, so look at it from the lens of strengths and opportunities, and that then offers an additional layer on top of what we did before when we talked about talents, passions, money, scale, and things like that. Okay, so tip number 5 is to fight the fear and test the idea. Okay, this is where the real work actually begins, because a lot of people out there actually have great ideas, but most of them are afraid. They've got fear of failing, fear of the unknown, and fear of being judged. So many people face fear, and the fear essentially over time almost drowns the idea that they've got, and most people therefore give up and don't take their ideas forward. Those areas of fear that I mentioned are bits that I refer to as your red flags, okay? And my solution to that is for you to create white flags in your life. You need to create white flags, because white flags are necessary for you to take the radical step. And I keep using that word deliberately because it's absolutely radical to move from finding something that has no potential to creating something that has huge potential and actually making it a success and having it replace your normal day job. And the white flags I recommend are: you need to create accountability in your life. You need to hang around like-minded individuals in your life. You need ongoing coaching and mentoring in your life from other people who've been on the journey themselves. You need to learn new skills in your life, because what you find when you assess these various ideas, you likely find that there are skills shortages that you might already have in your life, but the right attitude is to have these as white flags, things that you need to put into the picture, a bit like putting inputs into an experiment and you're expecting particular outputs. Those white flags are necessary for you to fight the fear. And your key goal here really is to start to ask yourself, how do I bring those white flags into the picture in order to push to the side the red flags of fear that I might have in my life ordinarily? So how can you engage accountability? How could you bring that into your life? How could you hang around with like-minded individuals who are doing some of the things that you want to do? How could you get ongoing coaching and mentoring perhaps from people who've been there before? How can you acquire those new skills and much more in order for you to move beyond just this ideation phase to actually now beginning the journey of taking action, which would then take you, without a doubt, months and years for you to then create something that has the potential to truly replace your day job on a sustainable basis. And so if you've then introduced those white flags in your life, what that then helps you do is take the testing phase to the scaling phase if your idea really catches on. Okay, you want to go from testing to actually gradually building up to this stage where you then start to scale this idea or business that you've created. And there's a big gap in between that. And that gap is real. In my case, that gap was 2.5 years from point zero, where we had the idea to start the Humble Penny, for example, to 2.5 years later, where we've now created something and I've been able to take a leap from my day job as well as my wife has been able to do the same thing as well herself. That gap there is an important gap because that gap is where you are going to become somebody else. A transformation happens in that gap because you'll be learning, you'll be hanging around with people who are doing what you want to do, you'll be fighting the fear because the fear is real, and you will be kept accountable on that journey towards your success. Okay? So I hope that's been super useful. As I mentioned earlier, we've created an environment for those specific white flags with what we do at Financial Joy Academy. If that's of any interest to anybody who's really, really keen on making this idea of starting this business that can actually replace their day jobs over time, feel free to check out in the link above or below to FJA, and would be more than happy to get to know you on the journey. Guys, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Is it your dream one day to start a business that will one day replace your corporate job or your normal day-to-day job? Is it your dream? I'd love to know in the comments. And more specifically, I want to know, what's the number one thing that's stopping you from making that dream a reality? Please let me know in the comments. I think it'd be really fascinating to see if there are any commonalities between the answers that we see from our community here on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button to really help to encourage a ton more other people to like and engage with our videos. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notifications bell so you get notified when we publish our videos twice a week, typically on a Tuesday as well as a Thursday. Thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you again on our next video. Take care and bye for now.